All right, I'm live. And I'm also listening to the whatever cast of the photographer guy. Yeah, Ken. I just call him Ken, the photographer guy. Um, I just thought I'd talk about the cranks and the whole liability of people who make counter arguments to the establishment, and how they just don't do it very well and ruin it for everybody, kind of a thing. And he's kind of an example of that. Um, so it's
No, it was never hot. Sorry about that.
makes the job more difficult. Well, I'm sorry, it's really hard to multitask.
Skinny, I wasn't hot.
So he's not talking much physics, just the perturbation stuff, hyperboloid. I thought maybe I'd post a link into his video chat room just to see what would happen. Yeah, just to see. Can't hurt, right?
If you want to debate magnetism, anyone will have at it.
Yes, well, I want to do that. Yes, I want the debate. Yes, that'd be really cool.
It's lightning.
What the hell happened to it? Link. Where's the link? Let's see. Go to the live group. I got to go to my room first.
Oh,
you get the room link.
It says lightning. It's lighting.
Let's see what happens.
Lighting. Somebody chasing a few other things. Let's see what that is. Hi, Kate. Hey, Tom, Kate. Hey. Abend. Kate Landa, is that what she said? Yeah, videos on polarized filters, yeah.
Well, anyway, can't post links. Well, that's just kind of messes the whole game, doesn't it? It's just really no point. I really think that sucks. So maybe I'll just try posting a message. Let's just see if he acknowledges my link. Sorry, it's a little bit of a waste of time. Anyway, so all right, so
DraftScience. I know who that guy is.
So here we go. So he says DraftScience. He knows who that guy is.
You go debate. Go debate unicorn parts. It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, chicken. Okay, so go debate unicorn farts.
Make sure you don't wake up with a monopole in the morning. You know how morning monopoles are.
Yeah, well, I do.
That can be an issue sometimes.
No, it's really a good thing actually. Chicken shit, chicken shit, chicken shit, chicken shit. Yeah, see.
Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper.
So anyway, we'll see if anybody, we'll see if any of his cronies show up, if they have the balls to show up.
You all have an awesome weekend. I'll come back on Friday. Thanks, Cookie Monster.
He's pussying out for the evening. Okay. Well, somebody else is leaving. Yeah, he's not quitting. All right, so let's see if anybody shows up from his room. All right, this Ken won't actually, he just doesn't want to do the in-person thing with anybody. All right, so anyway, but this is the whole problem with the cranks, right? So there's one of the sycophants, I had to block in the last room, and for this whole stupid crap, and he's all obsessed with the word resonance now, and now that's a word that apparently is a Tesla magic word, and it's not. They're turning it into like a source of energy, and it can't be a source of energy. I mean, resonance just means whether you're going to get the maximum out of a frequency or whether there's going to be losses. So resonance would be a good example. Would be you shoot something at a target, and some of it bounces off the target. So there's a hole, let's say, and some of it goes through the hole, and then some of it bounces off, and then bounces off the wall behind you, and then goes back towards the hole, and some more of it goes through the hole, the reflected part. Being on resonance would just mean that you're maximizing those effects because your frequency is in the same phase from the reflection. So the reflections have the same phase as the original frequency, and therefore the effect is to gain more efficiency. So it's just the idea of sounding boards will vibrate at certain frequencies, the resonant frequencies. It's just a phenomenon of the thing itself, its structure. That some things will vibrate at a certain frequency more easily than any other frequency. But it has nothing to do with energy transmission or creation. And these people are talking like it's they're going to solve the energy crisis with resonance frequencies. That's just silly. So anyway, so I went and watched this guy's video. An hour of this crap by some fucktard. Gerald Morin, and it's just so stupid. I mean, he powers an LED with a stove burner, using that as an antenna, and from an inch away, and it's like some brilliant discovery that somehow, look, there's energy in the transmission of photons. Well, duh. I mean, I could put a solar panel next to a light bulb. No one's going to be amazed that the light bulb is producing energy in the solar panel. I mean, it's not, wow, that's amazing. I transferred energy from the light bulb to the solar panel. Because I'm not going to be doing it too damn efficiently. So if that's the Tesla dream being realized, it's a pretty stupid dream. So anyway, this Ken guy, though, the magnet guy, Yeah, he makes all these bold claims and then uses all this complex, hyperboloid, lack of inertia, transverse, interrogatory, knob, blah blah blah. And, to say what and he just made the statement that if he died tomorrow, he feels so good that he knows what magnetism is. And I'm just like, what do you mean? How exactly have you described why the two magnets move towards each other or why the two magnets move away? I mean, how did you explain how they do that? What their shoes look like, how they walk, how this movement takes place? And there's no explanation of that. Nothing. Just a sudden lack of inertia, whatever that means. I mean, like you could possibly ever lack inertia. Even that terminology is just so, how do you even do anything with that? At any one state, your inertia is your inertia. You're at a state for the condition you're in. It's always inertia. I mean, it's always an inertial state, essentially. Yeah. So anyway, so the cranks are, they just give cranking a bad name because they do it so badly. People who, it's kind of like the March on Wall Street would be an example of a reaction to something that's bad. So rich people are bad. The rich getting stinking rich is bad. And the way to fix it, though, isn't with just throwing stones at the rich. You have to have something like a real policy. You can't just do nothing. Chat's still open. Yay. Okay, so I guess the room over there closed. So let me find my room and see if there's anything in the chat. Yeah, there we go. Monopulse, bitch. Oh, that was great. You understand light, I'm guessing, can give a reliable example of what it is. Yes, the photons, which are tons, so they're things, they're particles, and they come at a frequency. That's their frequency. Little thing, then a little while later there's a little thing, and a little while later there's a little thing. The little things move the speed of light, and they never do anything else. And they're the same things that create, gravity and magnetism. Yes, well, you could type, Ken was just complaining about assholes that go on his videos and gripe about how fat and ugly he is and this kind of thing and that kind of thing. And what do? You show up here to do the same thing? Wow, you're an Einstein. Yeah, unfortunately, fortunately for me, I don't have to tolerate you. I don't have to pay any attention to you. I mean, I can just block you. Easy enough. I can put you in a little timeout thing. I can do all kinds of things. I mean, there's not enough people here for you to disappear in the crowd with that kind of shit. But it seems to me that you're the one probably familiar with dildos in the ass. I can say I've never had a dildo in my ass. Ever. Squirt show BB. Well, you know what that, now you're just incomprehensible. So yeah, why not just get rid of you? Go have a timeout, buddy. Have a timeout. So anyway, it's an open room, which means there's a link in the description. So if you really have an argument to make or you want to have a conversation, this is an open room. So I would like somebody to actually debate with rather than them typing, insufficient commentary or questions. So anyway, yes, so it's all one force: magnetism, gravity, light, radiation. Everything is one thing, and it moves at the speed of light. And they're all tons, but they're tons of a different property. So when it's not polarized in one direction and not at a frequency, we call it gravity. When it's polarized and coming at a frequency, we call it the electromagnetic spectrum, some form of light. And when it's just polarized and no frequency, we call it magnetism or EMF. But yeah, it's all the same tons, and they impart on the things they encounter. As the force encounters matter, it leaves, it accelerates it simply. And the acceleration involves the thing, the matter, absorbing the momentum in the direction. And when it absorbs the momentum in the direction of the force that's greater than the force coming from the other side. So when the balancing forces, so you have to understand that the gravity is made by a force that exists in space right now, a tremendous density of gravitons that are hitting you from all directions. When there's more of those coming from one direction than the other direction, and you're accelerated, when you're accelerated, what you're doing is you're taking on the force moving in the direction you're going. So you absorb tons going the way you're going, and you release the ones perpendicular to that direction because they're absolutely of no value to your acceleration. So you have to let go of those, and then that creates the EMF that in turn causes the same effect in some parallel conductor or something in your environment. You end up imposing a force on it, and that force will move the electrons in, if it's a conductor, it'll move the electrons in that conductor, and again cause another EMF by causing acceleration. So whenever an electron is accelerated, it releases its perpendicular tons, and some of them in proportion to how fast it's moving. And yeah, so it's all very conservative. So all of the forces are unified in the sense that gravity can be released by an encounter with a photon, for example, can cause a little bit of gravity to be released, which we would realize as some sort of vibration in the atom or movement in the electron, but it's really gravity. LOL. So what does Ken believe about light? Because I'm having a hard time understanding what he thinks it is. He thinks it's a vibration in the ether. So he says perturbation. So I think that just means vibration. So the light there's nothing actually moving. It's just a wave, and it's caused in the ether. So it's like the jello that everything's made out of. Everything's jello. And so when you turn the light on, it vibrates the wire. When the wire vibrates, the jello vibrates the light out, and you receive the vibration in the jello, I think. I mean, I wish he would draw pictures. I wish he would use analogies to something in the real world so you could actually understand what he's saying. I mean, I just used the jello analogy. I mean, I wonder if he would find that totally ludicrous, or does he think, yeah, maybe it is kind of like jello. Have you had a debate with Ken? I can't debate him. He won't do a live room with a guest. So he says he doesn't know how. So I was like, well, fuck. It's not that difficult. I could do it. He's supposed to be like a zillion times a genius. I mean, he should be able to figure out how to do it. I mean, so I'm just saying I've tried, but he won't do a live room. And I think you obviously know that you really can't have the conversation typing, deeply. It's hard to have a deep conversation about any of these subjects typing it. Yeah, Ken's not an idiot, but I mean, certainly his whole hypertroploid crap is just, he doesn't have a single he doesn't have a single physical image of this. And the only thing he has is that ferrocell. And that's got a real problem, because the ferrocell is actually, it's a fluid, a tiny, tiny amount of fluid in between two panes of glass. And so it's pressure sensitive. So it's kind of like liquid crystal screens, where you poke them and they can make funny colors. Well, the old ones, these new ones aren't so vulnerable. Remember the old LCDs, you just touch the thing and all the different, it caused all this change because of the pressure. So that's the problem with it. The ferrocell is that it's giving you a distorted view. And it's not actual light that's being bent. It's the pathway that the light's going through. So it's almost like the ferrocell, the guy has figured out how to create a, chains, I don't know how to say it any other, like fiber optics. Okay, so it's like a liquid fiber optic. And so the light is traveling through a density of the ferrocell liquid where the light can be transmitted through it. But unfortunately, the fiber optic is being bent and curved. And so it's not light that's being bent, it's the fiber optic of the ferrofluid material that's bending. And, that's why the cells are round, is because round gives you a proportional bend. If they made them square, you'd be able to see how the cell is making this distortion. It's creating the distortion. I mean, the glass plates. Oh, you believe in the ether. Where did you get that from? Who did you get that? Who are you talking to, Eric? I mean, clearly I mock the ether. I mean, I mock the idea of a static ether, Jello. If you want to talk about Jello, where every, where the Jello is made out of a zillion little ball bearings all moving the speed of light, well, that's the kind of ether I'll talk about. An ether full of energy, well, that makes sense, but dead Jello, no. Dead Jello is not going to push the Earth into the sun. And that's what the force in space is doing. Not bent space, the force in space is doing. Mostly. So, but anyway, I appreciate a couple of you showing up. I mean, it's just the problem is this whole idea of cranks and the fact that they really don't put up much proof, and they make these bold claims, and they do all of this. I've done some ragging on conventional physics, but nothing like Ken. I mean, Ken is just, this whole Einstein was a retard and blah, 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 and all this crap. Einstein was fucking wrong, but he was no retard. Really, really excessive. And this whole love affair with Tesla, which is kind of funny, just because, Tesla was the obvious. I mean, everybody talks like, poor Tesla, poor Tesla. He was given millions of dollars to play with, and he just played with it so poorly. He just wasted the money because he just kept trying to make his frickin' beam weapon. And he just kept ignoring the fact that the atmosphere ain't going to let that happen. And even if the atmosphere wasn't there, creating beam weapons is a little bit complicated because of this equal but opposite reaction problem. That it's like the thrust of the space shuttle. Yeah, okay, I can shoot the thrust out one end, but then the space shuttle shoots the other way. I mean, it's this whole problem of how you even, how you're able to even direct anything that would have high energy because of this equal and opposite reaction problem. So anyway. And such. Let's see. I gotta open up my regular window again. Just wanted to say hi. Yes, hi, D. Yes. Hi is good in a physics room. Yeah. Safer. I was just thinking about you and Mike today. I was saying, oh, they're probably at the beach or something, these loafers. But no, it's probably all kinds of crap happening or something. Yeah, but yeah, you haven't made a video in a while. I seem not to be able to not make videos. Well, I did have a period there where I was only making 1 or 2 a week, so it was pretty good. And I think these physics rooms are a good idea, because they do make me even think. I mean, I think every time I open one, I get ideas. But yeah, this is the thing I'm up against, is this idea that how do you get to a real argument with a real somebody somebody with some kind of real physics credentials, some kind of, you know, real interest in arguing because their own reputation is at stake or something, you know, something where it's not just some silly academic conversation where they could just dismiss you, you know, something that's real where one of us is right, one of us is wrong, and we're going to find out which one is which. Well, I think it's kind of obvious why I don't have it on the main channel. I mean, frankly, it doesn't, you know, physics conversations don't really go with general philosophy, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think Ken's physics videos complement his camera videos at all, so I think it's a bit of a distraction. Because your audience isn't, you know, most of his audience isn't probably terribly interested. So anyway, that's why I split it up, is because people got sort of pissed off that, oh, another physics video? Yeah. So even when I labeled them, they just didn't really care for it. So it's simple enough to have a separate channel. So I said a separate channel is the way to go.
Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why is my shit green?
Yeah, well, you got problems. You know, that's just one of them, right?
Wait, why is my thing green?
Yeah, I don't know. It's your phone, probably. There he is. Okay. Still green, but it's okay. It's kind of Martian, so that's kind of cool. It's kind of appropriate for the circumstance. Yeah, chair. Cool. Floor. Ooh, floor. Children and their technology. So. Yeah, but you know, it's like the guy with the rope theory. He won't have a real debate either. I mean, all these people, you know, with these extraordinary theories, they don't seem very willing to have a public debate defending their crap. Oh, he fixed it. Oh, it's regular Mike. I don't like regular Mike. Regular Mike is boring. Boring, 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 boring. He's got like a regular civilian haircut now. Yeah, I joined the military. Yeah, I ship out in 3 days. Yeah.
I got a job, and they made me cut my hair.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was coming. The rifle factory or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I look like a fucking soldier or something.
Yes. Well, you just look like, yes, you look like some kind of yuppie spawn thingy. Yuppie spawn. So what kind of work do you get? Still moving boxes? It's just at a better box factory. Yeah.
Landscaping. I was doing landscaping and like cutting shit. I suck at it. So yeah, we're probably going back up to Pennsylvania though. Damn.
Yeah. Well,
I can't get it. Can't get it right over here. I know I'm supposed to be talking about physics and stuff, but I don't know too much about that.
Yeah, well, it's true. You are fucked-hearted. How useless. I have to admit, I didn't know too much about physics 5 years ago. I mean, I just had a vague pile of crap knowledge, the basic stuff. And once you get into it, I didn't realize how full of shit. I mean, I really had no idea how full of shit it all was. So you start picking at it, and you're just like, oh man, these people really are kind of nuts. I mean, yeah, I was impressed by Einstein, and then, I'm not so impressed no more. She changed the color of her hair again. She does a lot of hair changing.
No, it's just dark in here.
Oh, okay. Very dark, I guess.
So what were you talking about? My fucking mic is
Oh, ow. Well, that was kind of fun. Some guy was talking about a dildo up the ass like before, so that was maybe that's what it's like. It was really good. Thanks.
Is it fixed?
It's still kind of loud.
Should be fixed now.
No, not even close. Not even close. Yeah. Fixed is a complex concept. Yes. Sometimes it can seem fixed, but it really isn't. Let's see, what is this one? Sort of random, but ever hear of concave? Yeah, well, that's the new flat Earth theory is the concave theory, right? So, you're just saying, man, these people. I mean, that's what just gives cranks a bad name, right? Because it's just like, let's see if we can come up with something really, 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 really silly that's really hard to disprove. And, it's a little bit, I mean, it's not that hard to disprove because, you just like, because they have to basically claim that everything NASA's done over the last 50 years was a lie. But, really is annoying. Humans really are annoying. Yeah, generally speaking. They suck, and they just keep finding new ways to suck in some new and shitty way.
Is it fixed?
Nope. There should be a way to turn your volume all the way down and then just turn a tiny bit up and then see if that's working.
Okay, is it working?
It's still loud. I mean, it's working, but it's loud. Hey, Numbly Num. Well, we'll compare you to Numbly Num. If Numbly Num's really loud, then I'll just lower my speakers.
How's my volume?
Okay, yours is too loud too, so I'll just lower my volume, and then you guys will be fine.
I can barely hear you.
Okay, good. Too bad. You're all too loud. So that's your tough shit. I have the right volume. You people all have the wrong volume. So figure it out.
I don't seem to have any controls.
Yeah,
How about
well,
that? Is it good?
Oh, I guess we get what we get then. Oh,
it's
wait.
good enough for me. I mean, yeah, so you all sound a little bit balanced now, so I find that acceptable. I don't even know if I want to mess with trying to fiddle with my settings because I'm on my shitty computer still. does shitty things when you try to do anything. Like when you want to use it for a computer, it totally doesn't want to do that. Yeah, I suppose people need to think they're being original, I suppose, or being important. But there seems like there's more to it because there's so much of a fraud to it, you know. It's also cheaty, I think. Let's see, let me see what this says. No, it's a theory where the Earth is inverted. You live on the inside of the surface of the ball. Yeah, I know. It's the same as the new flat Earth. They're basically doing the same thing. You know, I mean, you have to miniaturize the universe, you know, when you make the Earth flat. And so, yeah, it's like the whole universe is on the inside of the Earth, but I mean, it's the same idea. I mean, it's obviously ludicrously stupid. You know, it's just people have way too much time on their hands thing or something. I mean, I've never gone into it in great depth, but I mean, you know, you think you'd have all kinds of problems with the sun getting blocked out by what? The other sun, you know, that kind of thing. You know. Numbly Num fell out of the room. That's unfortunate. I'm scared to use the mic. Your mic was okay the last time, I think.
It's good now?
Yeah, it's still loud, but it's, you know, just have very soft sentences. Okay, he's back. Let's see.
Yeah, I lost sound, so I had to reset there.
Yes. Understandable. I've had to do a lot of rebooting. Yeah, well, I've looked at the, whatever, the inverted universe thing. Do you really think that's an answer? You really think it's plausible, you know, that the sun is much smaller than the Earth and all that? You think that's all plausible? And that stuff's rotating on the interior of the Earth. And like you could throw a rock and hit the other side of the Earth.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, they have a video. You know, it's all very nice graphics. But yeah, their theory is that the Earth is inside out. You see, and all the whole universe is on the inside of the Earth, and we're walking around on the interior of the sphere that is the Earth. And
they're trying to outdo the flat Earth theory.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, it's the same thing.
Well, it's a good bit more fucktarded, I think. You know, I think it'd be more believable.
I mean, it really isn't. I mean, they're both incredibly fucktarded. I mean, this is a fair contest. I mean, I wouldn't be giving any gold medals right away. I mean, I think that is a real contest.
That's really far out, though. The whole universe is on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they have a really nice video. They have nice graphics. It's all very pretty, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah,
like
it's eye-based physics. That's like black holes and stuff, too.
Well, black holes is a little better than that.
A little.
Well, I mean, it's theoretical. It's made up, but I mean, it's as an abstraction, it's not quite as ludicrous as some, you know what I mean? Elementally, you could say, okay, that's feasible. It's possible that matter can be compressed. And it's possible that it would have extra gravity because of that. Yes, okay, those things are possible. But come on, the whole universe on the inside of the Earth? I mean, come on. It takes 15 billion years of no life to get to us from inside the Earth. Yeah. Oh, it only traveled 65 feet, but it's a really long 65 feet.
It's like somebody's just doing some kind of social experiment to see how far they can push a theory and have a handful of people still buy into it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They're just trying to construct a perfect piece of bullshit. You know, let's just make a piece of bullshit so perfect that it fills every loophole and every, you know, so you can't disprove it. You know, some perfect God theory.
Yeah.
You know, it's a perfect lie. Somebody could try to convict me of a crime, you know, and they just contrive a bunch of circumstantial evidence, and they just do it really well, and yeah, I get convicted. You know, it's doable.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like, you know, young kids or young teenagers watching these videos sometimes, like getting indoctrinated into these theories at a young, you know, at a really young age. Because I know this one woman, and she has an 8-year-old son, and he's really obsessed with watching all these Illuminati celeb videos, and he's like he's 8 years old, and I was like, you know, I'd never heard of anything like that when I was 8, but he's just going on and on about Masons and conspiracies and all that.
Well, I think yeah, it's all, obviously it depends on how, you know, what your brain's made out of, you know, whether you fall for professional wrestling or not. You know,
Right.
well, I mean, you know, some people are, you know.
I'm not sure that he even makes a distinction from that stuff and, you know, just entertainment, but it's just interesting. Like, I can't fathom being exposed to that kind of, like, the amount of different stuff that's on YouTube when I was young, when I was a kid. Must be crazy for kids these days.
Yeah, it's definitely different times. But I mean, I think in some ways it would make you more rigorous, you know, just because there is so much crap.
Yeah.
You'd think you'd have really good crap radar. Because, you know, I grew up in a time when nobody really, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like Richard Nixon only told little lies compared to what people do now. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we were a lot more, you know, gullible in a sense that, you know, people just weren't as, you know, nobody was that crazy. You know what I'm saying? There'd be UFO people and shit, but you know what I mean? You know, everybody knew they were nuts.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't just, like, research a topic immediately. Like, you couldn't get, like, 3 or 4 different perspectives on a subject the moment that you asked the question, right? You'd have to wait for the National Geographic magazine to come, and, you know, everything's widely spaced.
LOL, old thought. Oh, dear. Well, you really think the sun is a nuclear bomb in the sky? Okay, that's an old thought. Also, the universe is not a bunch of matter condensed. No, no, no. Says you. Think of smaller ball on inside of the Earth with stars mapped on it. Again, who cares? If that's what you... Look, if you want to believe that shit, that's your business, okay? I think it's absolutely silly. Absolutely silly. You think we sent a probe into space to go take pictures of Saturn, and it took it 3.5 years to get there? It took 3.5 years to get to the painting on the ball inside the Earth that has the stars painted on it. You know, that Saturn's painted on. It took 3.5 years to get there. Anyway, never mind. Fucking hard.
Yeah, I think just ignore the fools, the physics fools.
No, but you can't ignore them because, like I said, I end up in their category, right? Because I'm just another crank saying the establishment is wrong. So, but this is what's wrong. You can't, you know, you get grouped into being one of these assholes. You know, it's like if you say you're a feminist, then if somebody thinks you know, think women, you know, you should all get $1 billion just for having to look at men's penises or something.
Yeah. I liked what you were saying the other night about dispelling the Big Bang, or kind of countering the Big Bang theory with a kind of, you know, potentially infinite universe. I thought that was a good point. It's an interesting one.
I didn't think about it in the sense that you know, you don't need the Big Bang. You know, when you think about the gravity going in both directions forever.
Yeah.
You know. So it gets, you know, I haven't fully thought that one out, but it really doesn't. It kind of just negates the purpose of the Big Bang.
Yeah.
I mean, its utility. But the guy brought up dark matter. What is your thought on the theory of dark matter being 4 times more abundant than normal matter? I think the idea of something being called matter, okay, that not only doesn't create any radiation of its own, but also is entirely non-reflective. It will not reflect anything in the entire electromagnetic spectrum, right? So nothing will bounce off of it. Nothing. It's perfectly transparent, more transparent than the clearest glass made. I think that's a little preposterous, don't you?
I think it's the worst blunder in physics history, personally. I think it's their most embarrassing, ridiculous bullshit that they...
It's really hard to do that, though, isn't it? Come on. Huygens is pretty embarrassing, right? Photons reading our mind. Well, that's pretty embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah, but the dark matter...
Action at a distance, spooky action at a distance is pretty fucking embarrassing. I mean, bent space, right? The nothing bends and tells matter where to go.
Yeah.
That's pretty lame. Relative velocity, like somehow we think it's possible that the gun is going 60,000 miles an hour and not the bullet. Yeah, sure, the gun just went that way, 60,000 miles an hour.
But the dark matter is not even anything. Like, it's not even a theory, really. You know?
Well, I know, but I'm just saying. You're just saying it's there's such a long list of colossally stupid bullshit here.
Well, I think that one takes the cake. I really do.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, first off, I don't think it's been established as a fact. So, the rest of that stuff they're talking about as if it's a fact. So.
Well, they talk about dark matter like it's a fact. Well, for me, dark matter was the first time I heard about dark matter. I thought, this is fucked. So, I don't know. For me, it was kind of like it stuck out like, the biggest sore thumb to me personally. So maybe that's just my own bias, and I find that one particularly ridiculous for whatever the reason. But I've had a problem with physics ever since I heard of dark matter and really read about it or heard a video or something that went into an explanation, and I was just like, this is just hokey. This is just silly.
All these assholes. Ronald, go fuck off, okay? I mean, it's not even a comprehensible comment. Understanding your spacecraft, just Google it. No, fuck off. Just Google that. Fuck off. I'm sure there's lots of references to fuck off. Ugh, Jesus. Retards everywhere. Alright, so, who came up with all this heliocentrism crap? You say the concave Earth is crazy, but what about the whole little blue rock rotating, spinning around a nuclear bomb? The fact that the energy inside your atoms are many, many millions of nuclear bombs. The energy you contain is 1 billion nuclear bombs. So why bother pointing at the sun and calling it a nuclear bomb? You're a nuclear bomb, asshole. Clearly the sun's not exploding like a nuclear bomb. It's a controlled chain reaction. Been doing the same thing for billions of years, retard. Well, hundreds of millions.
I think the sun is fusion rather than fission, right?
Well, it is the opposite. It does. Yeah. It's combining 2 heliums to make a hydrogen. I mean, two hydrogens to make a helium.
Yeah.
Where we are breaking uranium into whatever thorium or something when we do our nuclear crap.
I think it's like borium or something, yeah. Can't remember which one.
Yeah, 1042 or whatever. It's some kind of isotope, and it leaves behind, whatever. I love the word they have for that. What's the term they use for the electron volts? Yeah, tens of electron volts left over per atom or something. Yeah.
Seems it's pretty far out.
Yeah, but it does make sense when I was thinking about this whole polarization thing, and that's the real toxic element to the electron. So it's just the polarized, you know, the electron's not bothered by most of the gravitons flying through it. It's only the ones of the exact polarization that it's spinning on, the stuff coming at it at the same vector that it's rotating. That's the stuff that fucks it up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying you're just as much a nuclear bomb as the sun is. The sun is not an out of control or a nuclear explosion runs on the idea that it's a chain reaction that theoretically could be infinite. So if you could actually create enough of radioactive material in a big enough ball, you could create an infinite bomb in a sense. Okay, so clearly the sun's not a nuclear bomb exploding. It's an unexploded nuclear bomb, just like you. You haven't exploded yet. But there's no difference. The only thing that it's doing is breaking atoms. So if I smash your atoms, I'll have 1 million nuclear bombs worth of photons will be created. Gravitons, more specifically. But all kinds of times. But, you know, E equals mc squared is the only thing, that's the real magic of Einstein. It just plainly states it. Matter is just energy. It's just energy stuck in a kind of a battery. It's just being held there. And if you let it loose, it's a lot of energy. A lot of stuff going the speed of light. Particles. Somebody's making some noises. Stop being irritating. No, humbly.
Oh, am I making noises?
Yes, you are.
I'm just clicking.
Well, I'm just saying it's.
Okay, I'll stop. It's
all right, you can click, but I'm just wanting to make sure you were aware that you're making noises. It's annoying me.
I sent you this. I put this one video in one of the comments, like I think 4 or 5 videos ago, and it was a new video that came out about gravitational waves.
Yeah, I saw the reference. I just said, oh fuck, you know, I didn't even bother with it because it's just like, oh, these people are just so, yeah. Because I read the little brief, and you're just like, oh man, these people are so, gee, we're just amazed that we could find this one because it's such a piece of shit as a signal, and you know. But this theory is even cooler because the black holes combine and then they gave birth to a little baby black hole.
Well, they made a bunch of other crazy claims in that video, like a bunch of brand new stuff. Like, trying to think of what it was. It was like, oh yeah, gravitational lensing of gravitational waves. This is what like this guy was talking about. I was like, oh man. They're doubling down on the.
Oh yeah, now they're really going for it, right? Well, I guess maybe bent space can be lensed. I don't know, right? Because the wave is bent space, so maybe bent space can be lensed. I don't know.
Actually, it would be good to do. You should do a little commentary on like the first. If you're looking for something to do anyway, I think it would be great if you did a commentary on like the first 20 minutes of that video because it's really like. One of the most extreme bullshit videos that I've ever seen. Like,
yeah,
there's like 4 or 5 brand new claims in this video.
Well, yes, you brought up lensing. That's really going to pique my interest now. So now I'm going to definitely have to watch it because now they're saying bent space can be lensed. You know, they really are.
And these are
warp
the guys
driving.
who are in charge of the project making the video too. It's not like just some.
Well, they made the last video, you know, where this isn't a Hollywood production. You
Yeah.
know, to start the Hollywood production. You know, that was just so funny.
This one's actually like a live chat with 3 guys talking about it, and it's just unbelievable. Like it's almost just worth it for the comedy value, actually.
Yeah, well, it's sad because this is, you know, it's really this, you know, what physics is turning into. It's just so
Yeah.
bad.
You laugh and then you cry.
Yeah, I mean, it's really disturbing.
Yeah, it is disturbing. It's weird. This one, I'm like, I can't believe these guys are taking themselves seriously. It's really hard to imagine.
Look, Ronald, I don't know what your thing is. I'm not Googling understanding your spacecraft. Okay? I'm not Googling that. I'm not. You're a silly person. I don't want to have to keep time outing you, so eventually I'm just going to block you if that's what you want. Fucking asshole. Ugh. These trolls that never let go. So somebody go Google understanding your spacecraft. So somehow that's significant. I don't know. So anyway, I didn't have a real agenda. I was just going to complain. I was, trying to talk to I just figured that magnet guy was doing his live room, so I figured I would try to harass him in some way or other to get him to, provoke a debate. But I find you can't post links in these stupid chat things. And I'm like, oh, why don't they let you post links in the chat? That's just like retarded.
Yeah, like you can't post links in the comments to other YouTube videos.
Yeah, I mean, people can tell me to shove a dildo up my ass, but they can't post a link. Oh, okay.
Well, I can sort of see the idea of just trying to prevent like there'd be advertising, like spamming bots and shit like that. It'd be hard to keep off, but they should make some way of doing it, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'd be that hard because the accounts should be semi-secure, right? I mean, accounts aren't that easy anymore. You got to have phone numbers and all this other shit.
No, there's shitloads of bots, though.
Well, I'm just saying, how can there be a bot? A bot has to have an account.
I don't know. There are bots, though.
Well, I'm just saying, well, theoretically, right, seems like a pretty easy thing to stop would be an account that was just created today. Well, okay, don't allow accounts just created today to post links. And then as soon as the thing posts 4 links in a row, you just disable the account's ability to post links for a day, right? I mean, what's so complicated?
It's these fucking hacker dudes.
I'm just saying, you don't have to be a hacker. Well, fuck, sometimes you're just obstinate. I'm saying this is 15 minutes worth of programming, okay? 15 minutes worth of programming stops bots using their own channel IDs, okay? You can't post a comment without a fucking YouTube account. It's not like bots on the real web where they can fuck with your DNS and all that kind of shit. These bots can't do anything. They have to do it through Google. Google has to let the bot in.
I read this article about how there's bots that even interact with people and make comments and stuff like that. And I think that they might be, some of them I think are even run by Google.
I know, but I'm just saying a bot that was posting links for advertising purposes.
Okay. I'm
no utility. As soon as my software saw it post the same link in 3 times, I would just disable the account.
Okay. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I thought something else here. I thought we were arguing about something else.
Yes, well, you always, you are obnoxiously argumentative.
I don't think I'm being, I wasn't meaning to argue. I was just talking, really.
No, you were arguing. Whether you like, you were basically dismissing the point being made. Oh well, no, the bot's doing it. The bots are the reason. The bots. And I'm like, no, bots can't be the reason because bots shouldn't be a problem.
All right.
I mean, I can't even get into some of my other YouTube accounts because I don't have enough phone numbers to give them. So they only allow you to have 3 accounts on a phone number. So let's see what else is news. Laughable. Loved a recent read on dark radiation. Oh no. Contributing to the increased acceleration of the universe. Yeah, well, whatever. They don't know how to measure acceleration or velocity, right? Because they keep using redshift, and they think they know what redshift is, and they think they know how fast things are going, but I don't think they have a clue. I mean, they have very heavy stuff in the universe going very, very fast, and it really doesn't make a whole... I mean, to you, does it make sense that something that's like 1,000,000 times bigger than our sun could be traveling 3/4 of the speed of light? I'm just saying it would be creating colossal explosions every time it hits something, just the tiniest bits of matter. It'd be huge, releases of energy. But whatever. I'm still stuck with those black holes spinning around each other. How they ever got that to work mathematically. Oh, Ronald, just stop it. Go away. Leave me alone. I don't find you interesting or useful. I guess that's the same thing. Useful and interesting would sort of be the same thing. But I'm just saying, I don't find you either one of those things, even though they're the same thing. Fuckhead. So, I thought you'd have more to say there, Numbly. You're kind of boring.
Well, I'll follow your lead. I mean, it's your chat here.
Well, I'm just saying, you think there's something on your mind, but I guess not. Okay. Yeah, so I have to just do my, somehow I have to be able to become credible enough to get an audience with the emperors. And like I said, it's hard to do that in this field of crazy fucks because they all do look like crazy fucks. I mean, all the cranks look crazy. And so I end up just looking like a crazy fuck.
Why don't you just call them on the phone? Like look up a physics professor during work hours and just try to get a hold of them and then record it on the Google.
I don't know, that seems kind of rude. It's really not my style. But
just ask some questions,
Well, I know, but I don't like doing shit on people's phones if you don't have to. So I've tried emailing. I just have to email some more people. But yeah, I don't know. Calling people's phones is that's kind of rude.
I don't think it's rude if they're working in a kind of quasi-public kind of role and it's during office hours. I mean, they're they answer the phone. They're on the clock. part of their role in society is to answer questions to the public, I think.
I don't know who the fuck you're talking about then. I don't
Like
know who the fuck
physics professors at, a major university.
Yeah, I don't think it's their job to interact with the public.
Well, you can call them and ask questions. I've just heard of people doing that before with other things. Like you can call a university and talk to a they might.
I'm just saying, I don't think you can unless you do an awful lot of bullshitting to get through. Because you're not going to get directly to the professor, unlikely anyway. You get his personal phone number.
Usually they have their office number online.
I'm just saying that, their office number, which means you're going to have to do some bullshitting to get an audience. I'm just saying, well, whatever. No, I'm not doing it. Whatever your idea, it doesn't sound practical or ethical.
All right.
I mean, it's hardly the kind of subject where you just say unprepared to a guy. Well, how do you account for Huygens not being applied in the two-slit experiment? Yeah, I mean, even someone in the know might need some time to look up. Oh yeah, that's right. The two-slit experiment did what? And what is that? Oh yeah, I have to go look that up.
I think there's ways you could approach it that you could make it worthwhile. Like ask them a lot of questions and then try to, just ask more questions from their answers and then sort of just try to let them lead the argument a little bit at first so that they can establish a position that you can then enter into a critical...
there's no point doing that, I don't think. I mean, there's only two elements here. There's two elements. I have a theory that's better than this stupid nonsense theory they have, so I just have to demonstrate how theirs is nonsense and mine isn't.
That's right. And I mean, you could make I was thinking, if you made a video of talking to them, it could be a good document of the whole affair, right?
Well, I know, but it's only going to mean anything if they know what the hell. I mean, again, you can't just start talking about some experiment to somebody without giving them a chance to have, research to get familiar with it.
You could just say, you're a physics researcher, you're interested to just, you wanted to talk to a professional physicist to ask them a few questions about the theories.
Whatever. If you think that works, I just don't think there's a chance in hell that works, and just makes me feel like some kind of wanker because my agenda is that's not what I'm lying to him then. Oh yeah, I just want to have an honest conversation because you're really smart. Maybe you'll teach me something, Mr. Professor.
I said you just say you're a researcher. I think that's fair.
I'm not saying you're just saying you're just lie. I'm just saying fuck you.
You're not but you are a researcher, aren't you?
No. I've already done the research. I'm done researching. I know everything now, fuckhead. I don't need any research. Research me search.
Well, that's... All right.
I mean, I'm just going to end up asking questions like, why are you lying about a 100-year-old experiment? Why don't you fuckers tell the truth?
I think that'd be a good video.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think he's going to stay on the phone.
Well, you never know, right?
Yeah, you do. No eating in the room. Sorry.
I'm not eating.
Yes, you are. You can do that in Piero's room, but you can't do that shit here.
My mic must be so loud. I was just chewing gum, actually. I'm not eating.
Well, whatever. Liar, liar. I heard the package. You're like eating a freaking potato chip or something.
No, I was really chewing gum, actually. That was a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, well, whatever. Stop it. Spit it out. Sit in the corner for 2 minutes. Behind the door. Damn gum chewers. I don't have enough problems. Yes, the girl is D. She's an artiste and such, and she says like a lot. Yeah, yeah, like kind of like. You know how liking is liking, like. Very Californian from a girl from Arkansas. Let's see. You have come up with a real discovery first, Gary. Then you can write a Wikipedia page like me. Whatever. You know, obviously Wikipedia is a fraud. So, blah 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 blah. I don't know why Ronald doesn't give up. So I guess you want me to block you, Ronald, right? So you're this great writer of Wikipedia pages, and you can't understand like concepts like 3 strikes and you're out or something. But now you just forced me to have to block you. Yeah. Oh, you're pretty stupid for a Wikipedia writer. Anyway. Yeah, I'm an idiot. So, where was I? Yeah, I'm sorry, this is not exactly as fruitful as it should be. My rooms when I'm by myself are a lot better, unfortunately. Oh, anyway. So let's see, what else is there to talk about? Did you see the aspect video I did, the one about the polarizing filter?
I think so.
So I think that might, that whole Allen aspect experiment that proves entanglement, it's really subtle evidence. The whole evidence is really about the fact that they do this experiment like 1,000,000 times, but they can't do it individually, so they can only do it like over a bunch of time, and there's supposed to be a certain proportion of outcomes, it should come out 50-50 and it comes out 45, 49 or something.
Right.
Or whatever. So it's a real subtle result, and so then that doesn't gel with the stupid whatever it is, jackass inequity or whatever they call that thing, that stupid mathematical thing that says you broke a rule of some kind. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't like have too much faith in those types of experiments, the ones that you can't possibly repeat and have often only been done once in some particular lab.
Yeah, well, you can repeat it, but it's another one of the experiments completely dependent on mirrors, right? So photons and mirrors. I have a real problem with that. Even that gravitational wave thing is dependent on that. You're like, well, what happens when a light goes into a mirror? I mean, do people really think the light bounces off the mirror? I mean, the same photon that went in is the same photon that leaves?
Right, that's the whole argument right there.
Because physics says that's not what happens.
Yeah.
Physics says the photon hits an electron and is reflected because it hit an electron and got absorbed by it and then got readmitted. That's what physics says is the truth.
That's the whole argument against the conclusion of the experiment.
Right, yeah, and so the aspect experiment has one of those that's supposed to be the fastest moving mirror in the universe, right? So because it has to move really, really fast. And you're just like, so it's a moving mirror. This is even better, right? It's a moving mirror. That makes, yes, light and moving mirrors. That makes a lot of sense, right? Those two things go together, don't they? Single photons and moving mirrors? Yeah, no problem. I can move my mirror fast enough. It's like ricochet rabbit physics.
Yeah.
I mean, it really. I should dig up some ricochet rabbit cartoons. That would be really good because that's a good metaphor. I mean, physics has gotten that silly. You might as well have bullets, where a little old man pops out and goes Yahoo and lassos people and shit.
Yeah. These experiments, they don't explain anything really. They don't have any application. They're just these one-off things, right? Like they don't seem to really. They seem to usually cause more problems than they solve, if anything. But they don't do anything to explain physics.
Yeah, well, and they just draw these huge conclusions, right? The aspect experiment, they say, proves entanglement, and you're just like, this is not proof, fuckers.
Yeah.
this is a possible indication of something. But again, it only took me an hour to find a huge defect, which is, yes, you'll get that disproportionality through a filter because, I'll do the example, but I think this is a great statement, is that, the jail bar thing is what most polarizers are doing. They're just a bunch of bars, right? And so and it's the Frisbee argument, right? The Frisbee goes through the bars when it's this way. The Frisbee doesn't go through the bars when it's this way. It stops all of the Frisbees this way, right? No Frisbees going this way can possibly get through.
Yeah.
But some of the Frisbees going this way hit the fucking bars, So some of the good polarization doesn't get through. And that's I think that's the aspect experiment. That's the reason why the results aren't what is expected. That's why they're not 50-50, is because some of the good Frisbees are blocked by the polarizer.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I can't, I know I shouldn't be too aggressive because, I can't be sure it's the reason, but he's got 15 polarizers in the damn experiment. It seems pretty obvious that they're the thing causing the problem, because I've never heard anybody point out that fact, that polarizers kill some of the proper polarization.
Yeah. So
until somebody else says that, I'm going to say, okay, they didn't think of that, and therefore they've assumed something they shouldn't have assumed. So anyway, this guy asks, can you define the difference between EM waves and photons? Well, EM waves they're photons without frequency. So if you think about magnetism as still being polarized photons, but they don't have a frequency, so you can't detect them. An electron can't absorb them because there's not two of them. An electron needs two to create orbits. But anyway, so let's just think of them as being photons. Think of the EM waves as not being a wave, but they're just gravitons. They're magnetons, if you want to call them that. And they don't have a frequency, but they're still polarized. And they're basically a force. And so when they hit a conductor, for example, they move the electrons in both directions out of the conductor. So when they go in, they create an extra pressure. The extra pressure pushes the electrons both directions and clears the conductor. Now that's why only alternating current will be generated in a conductor, is because the alternating current keeps collapsing the field. So it pushes them, then it lets go, and then they can fill the void again, and then it pushes them again, then they can fill the void again, then it pushes again, they can fill the void again. And that's the way it's creating the voltage. But where if you kept the field there would be no voltage in the wire, because the voltage can't get through the wire because the field's in the way. And that only affects electrons, of course, that aren't already moving. So the ones that are already moving are immune to the effect. An electron already accelerating isn't going to be deterred by the field, because its momentum is going to be stronger than the field energy. Man, what's going on here? I love people that do that shit. It's not even a question mark. You should at least put a question mark. You're going to ask a really stupid and inane question, you should at least have a question mark. I don't know, maybe you should listen to the room, and then you could figure out what's going on. And then you could say, hey, I don't get you. Well, that's fine. You don't get me. Guess what? I don't give a fuck. Who the fuck are you? Shitting Mr. Boomhead Shots. Mr. Boomhead Shots 9000. He doesn't know what's going on here. Oh, shit. People are just so fucking stupid. I mean, it's just really stupid. I mean, it's amazing how many people think somebody should be interested in what they have to say. I mean, I never comment, generally speaking. And if I do, it's because I have something serious to say and I wish to be taken seriously. I mean, the last thing I'm going to do is go on somebody's video and just type poo. It's just so stupid. Ah, you found the chat there. Yay. Yeah, this whole chat thing is so stupid. I mean, they have a chat window in this thing, and it doesn't do anything, right? So the video thing doesn't have, I can't see the chat. I have to actually load the stupid video to see the stupid chat thing. I mean, Google is supposed to be full of people that have really high IQs. It just seems like that's really a low IQ piece of software. A chat window that doesn't work? What's the point in that? Rhetorical question. Yeah, I have it open. It doesn't matter. That's the whole point. This is open smoking. It just will not be a chat. I mean, Piro has the same problem. He opens it. It's like, I have it open. Yeah, it doesn't work. I think Piro's dead or something. Yeah, he really posted nothing for 2 weeks. That's kind of not Piro-esque. Piro-esque. Maybe he slipped on a banana and fell in the lake. Or something like that. Mink bit him. Yeah, I don't know if he's still missing. I haven't tried, so see, that's how interested I am. I just mean the fact that he he hasn't done a video, and you can't, he doesn't have his page, so you can see his activity, so you don't know whether he's posted comments anywhere. But I should be, but like I said, he's done this before, so it's, you can't get upset because, he doesn't give a shit about his audience. Yeah. I don't care what they think. Yeah. I'm Piro. I'm above all that.
Talk over everyone for 8 hours straight.
Well, that too. I mean, sometimes I just could say, gee, I wish he was dead. I have to admit, it just really does piss me off. There's times I could just say, yeah, no, the Earth doesn't need any more of these phantasmagorical, silly, arrogant, motherfucking cunt bastards. But there's so many of them, what's the difference, I guess, right? It's just such a lost cause.
Well, it's funny because he kind of claims some sort of credibility in physics, having designed software for NASA or something, and he's really the worst with his absolute nightmare on physics.
Well, yeah, I mean, he took a course as a part of his philosophy degree, right? So he decided, well, I'm at Stanford, I guess I might as well, or Berkeley or whatever. I might as well take some physics because this is like a physics place. And I don't even think he took the whole course because, I think he just said, oh, fuck, I don't want to do this math. Yeah, shit, fuck that. So I don't even think he finished one semester, so,
Yeah.
And I'm not saying obviously I didn't go to college at all, so, I don't have, and I flunked physics actually in high school. Well, I didn't technically flunk it, but they tried to fail me because I was just drawing water pipes on the desk and going to sleep all the time. But anyway,
I think if you're able to self-educate, it usually turns out better than college if you have the drive to do it.
Well, I would now, definitely, because you have the resources. Obviously at my time, you didn't have the resources to do that.
Yeah.
But now it's like, yeah, you can learn anything. But that's what my whole point is, that I went out and for the last 4 years, I've been really picking at this shit, I mean, and, I made a conscientious effort to up my game and learn the jargon and learn what the theories are. And, I put in my time. And
Yeah,
I know this shit now. I mean, I still can't do some of the math. I mean, I can't derive equations very well or do any of that shit. But I hate the whole symbols they use anyway. They really piss me off. All that sine theta shit and all that, lambda, and I hate that crap. I mean, I wish they would have just used acronyms or something else to say this is the velocity of and this is the speed of. Because then they end up with equations. This is really irritating. But they'll have the same symbol. Like the C will be a small case c and then a large case c, and they're different c's. Oh, it's just terrible. One of them's the speed of light. One of them's the speed of item C, and I mean, it's just
yeah, big G and little g and all that.
I mean, it is just terrible. It's terrible. You can't do math that way. I mean, it's
like
just
delta sign, cosine.
Lambda? What the fuck's a lambda? What are you doing? What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Well, I think, it's just like if you really have to do some math, you can, like what I've found is that, yeah, it's not hard to do if you really want to crunch some, but how often are you going to be crunching the numbers anyways, right? So.
Well, there's some things you don't need to know, you know what I mean, that you can do mathematically. Like, say if I take 10 objects, just randomly spot them and just say, okay, now I want to figure out what the gravity is here. Yeah, I actually have to derive 10 different equations, and it gets, and then I have to, find a pointing vector, and then, this is a kind of a drawn-out process, or you can just guesstimate, you know what I'm saying? You can just take a shortcut and get the 85% correct answer,
The math for Newtonian mechanics and thermodynamics and stuff is actually really nice. It perfectly interlocks with the theory where you're just you can actually see the equation overlaying the process.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping is that once I start getting to this, what I have to do is I have to get Einstein's number for what he says the mass of a photon is. And I have to find a consistent energy formula. You know what I'm saying? Because they use joules, they use all these different things to describe energy, and I need one. I have to knock it down to one thing, and I want to know how many joules are in an electron, how many joules. So a photon would be my one. I'd call that one the 1 unit, right? Yeah. Would be a photon, and then everything else will be some multiple of that unit. That would be the sensible thing to do.
Right.
And then once I know how many photons are in an electron, then I can figure out how many photons are in a proton. And I can find out how many photons are in a neutron. And then this math becomes really easy because then you're just saying it's all about the number and the speed of light, right? So if there's 1 million photons in an electron, I know that if I introduce one photon going the speed of light, that speed has to be divided by 1 million, right? Over 1 second of time, because it's basically diluting the speed of light by as many photons that are already in the thing, right? So I just divide by 1 million, and then I just subtract the number that will go in the same way as it was going already, right? So I subtract 1/4 of that number, and I'd end up with this is what the net movement's going to be. Over a 1 second period of time, it'll move exactly this much distance,
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's going to be really simple because everything's the conservation. I've really made it all conservative now, so now that everything that goes in comes out somewhere.
You should get classical kind of equations.
Yeah, nothing can get away, right? It's all speed of light things, and none of them can run away. So, you'll have to account for every one of them that goes someplace. So if the whole thing moves, the only way the whole thing moves is it had to exchange the stuff going the wrong way for stuff going the right way.
I think that kind of math is the most fun math you can do. If you have to do math, doing Newtonian mechanics equations, because it connects with the process and intuitively, and so it's of all the different math things you could do, it's at least it's sort of you can visualize what you're calculating.
Yeah, no, I'd rather be calculating the density of my penis or something. I mean, fuck that. I want something fun to measure.
Well, I just mean applying the kind of formulas that are based on ratios and things like that.
Well, I mean, I just don't. Math is never really fun, so I guess that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm just saying of all the math you can do, I personally think it's one of the more satisfying ones because it, you can it just translates so easily from the process in your mind.
Well, I suppose, but again, I'm going to be, we always end up arguing or disagreeing. I think the math of geometry is more fun. You know what I mean? The side angle side kind of stuff. That whole algebraic, stuff is all. I like that. That's all real consistent too. Real solid rules.
Yeah.
Couch dancing, cool. Yes, he's wriggling and things. Yep, the important stuff in life. Wiggling chicks. Fuck physics. So, let's see, I'm still awake, which is surprising, relatively speaking. Maybe I'll have one more real cigarette, but I really shouldn't because I'm almost running out. I must be sad when I run out of cigarettes again. Thank you to Old Fan. Very pleasant week of smoking. Yeah, it's good. Brain food, nicotine. So anyway, so what else is there to say here? So yeah, it's just putting all these bad assumptions together, and yeah, do some rewritings. Yeah. I haven't even written up the electricity part, and I pretty much have that nailed. I haven't written it yet. But anyway, I was watching this, like I said, these cranks. So there's this guy, Gerald Moore, and he really thinks he's going to invent some sort of like free energy machine. They're just like, I mean, how people have been doing this shit forever, this perpetual energy thing, and it's like this whole Tesla movement has gotten these people all energized, and they all think they're going to come up with some kind of like vibrating tuning fork or something that's going to power, New York City. Yeah, you're moving. You're going to leave Florida, you go all the way down to Florida, and then you leave it again? Jeez, people are so fickle. A crocodile moving in something. Too many crocodiles in Florida. Not by choice. Something's dragging you back. Let's see what's dragging them back. Let's try to guess what's dragging them back to Pennsylvania. No economy. Oh, okay. Well, there's not much one in Pennsylvania either, though, right?
Hey, wait, is my microphone alright?
Yes, it's quite adequate.
Ah, thank goodness. Alright, yeah, no, we're totally moving back up. And if I can talk straight right now, fuck me. Okay, yeah. So, I can't talk straight. That's why I was typing. Alright, we're going back up. Florida's gay. There's, like, no economy. Yeah, so, we're gonna visit you. What's this month? June, July, or August? You choose.
Yeah, that's perfect. There's lots of flowers by then. So, it'll be very nice.
Yeah.
I have a swimming pool.
You have a swimming pool?
Yeah, $17 swimming pool, but yeah, it's pretty
Well,
big.
get it cleaned up, because we're all going swimming.
You could probably fit 4 people in there.
Oh, we should bring his sister. Oh my god, it's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
Okay, I can't talk, so I'm gonna get my.
Yes. Whatever, fine.
I just can't like speak and like think.
Yes, I understand. Whatever the chick says, you say yes, yes, yes. I understand. I understand. I had kind of a disappointing little chick experience, right? So there's this girl that I know. I've known her for like 10 years, and she's always been a lunatic. And, but I've always managed to keep her from getting pregnant, by just keep telling her, no, 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 you can't get pregnant, you can't get pregnant, you can't get pregnant, And, just after 10 years, I mean, she goes and gets pregnant, and then like the fetus is like got a tumor or something, and it's all fucked up, and it's like, why did you do this? Yeah. Anyway, just very disappointing. Really irritating. Because you think you made a point. I mean, you think you get to somebody, you say, okay, you understand, right? You understand. Baby making bad. You know proper mommy. Okay, you crazy. Have baby. You understand, right? You are retarded. Retarded people don't have babies. Yeah, they disappoint you. Yeah, well, just
That's fucking
as soon
horrible.
as something happens, they just pop into that mode, like, oh, I'll be a wonderful mommy, and they get in whatever that is, that biological, whatever back assward clock thing ticks, and they say, oh yeah, I can do this. I was meant for this.
Ego.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is just going to be such a train wreck. I don't think she's going to, she's too fucked up. I don't think she's going to carry it to term, so hopefully. But, she was making excuses not to have the amniocentesis, right? I mean, so they ultrasound it and they know there's something wrong, right? There's some kind of fucking thing in there with it, right? It's got like either she's got a tumor in her uterus or the baby's got a tumor as big as it is or some other kind of shit's going on, right? So they want to do the amniocentesis, and she was making all kinds of excuses not to do it. And it's, there's a 1 in 1,000 chance of a miscarriage. And I'm like, there's only a 1 in 1,000 chance you're going to carry this thing to term, you retard. You just don't want to do it because you don't want to get the answer, which is, fuck, this has got to end. And you don't want to hear that. Well, anyway, so I think I finally talked her into that.
You did? Wait, she's not gonna go to term with it?
Well, she's going to get the amniocentesis, and then she'd find out what it is, and blah, blah, blah. I haven't heard back from her, but, I mean, she was brave to call me anyway, right? Because she knew I was not going to, she knew she was going to, but see, that's why she called me, because she kind of knew she was feeling guilty enough to say, I better call Gary because Gary will tell me I'm an asshole. And, she needed to hear that because she knew she was being an asshole. So she needed somebody to tell her she was being an asshole. So, I mean, it's all psychology, right? I mean, all relationships, all people, friendships, whatever, it's all some kind of psychology going on there. So, she just shows up when she needs me to, tell her she's an asshole.
Hey, I show up because you're cool. So I guess that's psychology.
I guess. Yeah, well, that's some kind of different thing. That's like celebrity thing or something. That's a whole different phenomenon.
Not cool in a celebrity way. Cool as like respect.
Yeah, no, I'm cool in a celebrity way. You're just confused. But yeah, I wasn't saying all people are incapable of having any kind of, uncomplex emotional relationship with the rest of the world. I just mean that most of us are connected to people because of some kind of personal narrative thing. They need the person for some reason, like they have a utility, or what's the other thing?
Emotional shit.
Yeah, well, I just mean that's generally speaking. But like I said, this online thing is a little different, just because this is kind of easy, right? See, if we talked for 4 times and we talked for an hour each time, we probably have nothing to say then, right? Because we said everything that we could possibly say. And so then everything would be kind of like, oh, okay, see ya. I mean, you'd probably find me a lot less interesting because, you know, we'd already said everything. Yeah.
I would probably try to keep the conversation going, but I'm weird. So.
Well, I'm just saying, generally speaking, you use up, if there's something, you know, if there's something just like you like about somebody, you like somebody, but, you know, you don't really have a utility for them. I mean, they're not really constructively useful. Then I'm just saying there's little to hold it together. The magnetism gets low, you know, once you use it up, kind of a thing. I'm just saying that once you have done the thing where I see you, you know, you've done your I see you thing, you know, then yeah, it's like, okay, well, you know, maybe I'll talk to you a year from now.
I have a friend actually just like that. Like, it's like, I don't know what the utility was or if there was one, but there was just nothing to talk about. And it's just like, that was it. There was nothing to say. And it was like, okay, well, now, you know, like, now what? Like,
Yeah, well, I just mean it sort of gets used up unless there's a use. Like I said, sometimes people have a use. You know what I mean? It's like chicks had friends because like they have an ugly girlfriend to make them look good, and they have a pretty girlfriend because she has connections. You know what I'm saying? Most of our friendships are always based on some sort of utility. Unfortunately, I mean, genuine friendships are a little.
most of them are like mutually, we're just being mutually parasitic. But Mike was talking about something like that recently with, they did some kind of test with robots and, it like, wait, can I mute him? Oh, okay, cool. So, am I allowed to kick him? Oh, you kicked him, okay. So, yeah, he was talking about these, like, robots they did, this experimenting with, to describe, like, how human interaction works, and it was, like, the one robot was completely evil, the one was evil, and, okay, so first there was, like, a point system, you probably know about it, I don't even know if you're the one who told him, but there's, like, a point system, and you get a +1 if you work with the other, and you get a -1 if you don't work with the other, and you get a -2 if the other one doesn't work with you. Then they get your 2. So it was
Well, that's all that you know, cooperation type theories and stuff. But those strategies all fall apart when you get into a real game. Because a real game, you just shoot the other guy in the head and, you know, eat his heart and move on. So I mean, in the real world.
Well, then after that, there's like nothing. You never get like another gain. You just keep trying to gain off other people. But like, it didn't show that the completely like altruistic one was the most successful. He wasn't actually. It was the more evil one. But yeah, it just goes to show. But being mutually parasitic seemed to work more in the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, but it's never mutual. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Mutual is really hard to find where you're equally parasitic. You know, that's really tough. So in most cases, you end up being, you know, parasited on, or you end up being the parasite. But you know, it's very rarely that you have some sort of equity in relationships. So just answer for Forever Will Film. No, then it's not the dye thing. Amniocentesis is where they just stick a big needle in and suck out some fluid and do the DNA test. You know, so they just grab some chromosomes so they can figure out whether the thing is genetically broken. Ah, my screen is frozen. Cool. That's when it's best. That's when it's frozen. Wunderbar. Yeah, I really have to. I have to put the other computer back together, and I just haven't felt like it. So much to do. Yeah, it was really weird here because we had like sunny weather like for 2 weeks, and it rained the other day. It rained like hell last night, and it's just so weird to have a day where first off it wasn't sunny, and then the next day it's so wet. Everything's wet. It's just it's so different than it's been. It's been so dry. So today was weird. Yeah, well, it could be worse, right? So as computer failures go, this one might not be so catastrophic. I just have to find myself some better computer parts. I mean, just haven't found a good match yet. Because I like running the XP, but and I should migrate to the newer operating systems. But then I have to get new software, and I like my old software, so I'm kind of stuck. But anyway, I shouldn't complain. I can do most things, and I have to figure out a way anyway. Yeah, well, at least you got some pool time in. That was good. Yeah, it hasn't been hot, but it was pretty hot. We had a lot of more, 85, 86 kind of days. Not bad. So, but the damn horseflies are biting the fuck out of me. I got bites everywhere. I got all these little holes in my skin. Ugh.
Life is like a nigger here in
Hilarious.
niggers suck dick.
That guy was funny. I mean, that's people just keep verifying my theory that humans aren't worth the trouble. Just blow them up. Too many fucktards. Ooh, standing up. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Neat. Yeah, I like that dress better when you're standing up. Pretty good. I have to do some painting. Every day I keep saying that. Oh, Gary, you gotta paint. Gary, you gotta paint some shit. Gary, you gotta paint. I just don't do it.
I haven't painted in forever.
Wow, you're just so cool. Yeah, I have to get to him before he jumps out of the room thing. But I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't painted in forever. I got into like watercolors because, it doesn't take as long to do watercolor painting as an oil. Kind of like I'm giving up on the oil for a little.
Yeah, well, watercolor's a whole different kind of look, and it's not as vibrant, and it's kind of tricky to make anything that really. I always found anyway. Everything looked a little flatty, and it's all that blending shit. You got to just I mean, once and it's like it's hard to get rid of color once you got too much color or something. You can't I can't erase that, can I? Shit. So I don't know.
It's helping me get better though.
Yeah, it's just kind of tricky to do something really, like it's good for like kind of abstracty stuff, but it's kind of hard to do anything, really good detail. Yeah, I really want to finish the old one before I start a new one, so I have to do something with that chick painting, then I can be off to the races. Just have to do a picture of D. Yes, that's. I really want to do portraits. I got to just keep working on portraits because that's where the money is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's so cute, isn't she? She doesn't really like to hook up too much, but she's being nice now. But yeah, portraits is where the money is at. But they get so, like, I don't know. I don't even know if that's true, is it? Like, how many people want to buy it? Like, because I just went to, like, the smallest little coffee shop recently. And the paintings that seem to sell the most are, like, paintings of, like, beaches and, what else? Just mostly, well, I'm in Florida, so beaches, but, like, I don't know, portraits are, like, the last thing they think about. Which is strange, because I always assumed it was portraits.
Well, I just mean that rich people like to have portraits, So I'm just saying the money you make on one commission is meaningful. Where if you're trying to sell paintings, you get $50 for a painting. You know what I mean? Yes, it takes less time to do a seascape, as they're kind of generic and all that kind of crap. But it's a little bit. Yeah, I really like body painting, but yeah, I don't have any. Yeah, damn. And just jumps in, jumps out, pussy. They don't give you a list here. I wonder if there's some way I can just block him in some auto way. Type in his name somewhere. Yeah, I'll have to look through these features. Let's see. Right official. I don't know what that even means. But we'll block him because he has the wrong name. So we're done with him. So I wonder what happened to old Numbly Num. Stupid pussy. Didn't properly say goodnight. Anyway, this room is it's probably time for me to go, 2:00 and such. So very nice chatting and such, seeing each other again and whatnot, and yeah, I'm glad you're moving back to Pennsylvania, but I'm sorry you're leaving Florida because
Yeah, thanks.
it's warm there and such.
Yeah.
No winters.
Yeah, and it's just we're moving back pretty close to winter, so. But yeah, it was nice talking to you.
Yes, and such. So have to do it again and all that kind of crap. Let's see, what is this one? Actually, I think I would really love doing whatever style body painting. Yeah, I don't know who that person is, but anyway, yes, I'm just saying that some of the body, it's just kind of, yeah, I think it's really. I remember that Sports Illustrated. I think they did an issue once where they had a bunch of, the models were all body painted, and it really was quite interesting.
I have a friend who does that, or semi-friend, who does body painting. She goes up to New York. It's like a whole group of people that do it. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely kind of, it's a little bit you know, personal, and all that kind of crap. So, you know, but yeah, I did it with like Photoshop, which was sort of interesting. You know, I just took nudes and just, you know, played with it with Photoshop, and it didn't come out bad. You know, you can kind of duplicate the effect, but yeah, I got to do some. I mean, everything takes such time. Everything takes time. Everything. So very good. Yes, send pictures and whatnot. So I think you're the one supposed to. You owe me a video, right? It's your turn.
I owe you a video.
I'm talking to Amanda.
I was like, what? Oh, night, Amanda. Sorry, I keep forgetting about the chat.
Yeah, it's okay. I think it's her turn anyway. Yeah, we exchange videos doing our planning to take over of planet Earth. So keep up to date on that.
I'm gonna, huh?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I was gonna get off and go see Mike.
Yeah,
go to bed.
go see Mike. Yeah, go visit him. So, yeah, send my condolences or greetings. Everyone's appropriate.
Yep. Nice talking to you.
Okay. Bye. Party thing. Yeah, there's a bunch of pictures there. Yeah, I'll have to look at that later. Thank you. I'll press the button and see what it does. I think I'll open it in Google thing. See what happens. It's funny, my tablet does stuff better than the damn freaking. Yeah, I don't know. It's coming out all black and whitish. That's like using bodies to paint. Okay, that's not like body painting. That's pushing people into a canvas. that's a little different. Yeah, well, that's a lot different than body art. I don't know what you call it when you actually paint the body. But anyway, that looks a little fucktarded actually. So, I thought that guy who painted with his penis was pretty good. Cowboy guy. Pretty fast anyway. Yeah, yeah, so it was pretty. You know, you had to give the guy credit. I mean, that's you know, you know, I haven't bothered trying, but you know, it's like you know, painting with something like your thumb. I mean, you know, painting with your thumb would sort of be a pain in the ass. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know I can't remember what he called it, but like I said, it was kind of funny. A naked guy in a cowboy hat, you know, painting with his penis. But you know, it doesn't seem totally bizarre to me. So I guess it, you know, it's within the realm of my possibilities. I've probably done something sillier. Probably. Anyway. Yes, yeah, I agree. I have to concede. It's pretty damn good shit. Damn it. I wish I had thought of it first. But anyway, so I guess I better go and do stuff. Yeah, that's it. I'll go do something. I go to bed, and yeah, I gotta make food though. This is everything's so a pain in the ass though. Yeah, I don't have anything to, you know. Gotta make some bread or something. I gotta really make two things. I gotta make something like muffins, and I have to make some bread. I don't have anything to eat in between dinner and dinner. Anyway, I have a jar of applesauce though. That's pretty good. Yeah, maybe I'll eat that. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's all. That's probably enough. So sorry to the hard physics people. I didn't do a lot of hard physics here, but you know, shit happens and whatnot. And such. So anyway, till the next time, and yeah, I'll be back probably mostly with more notes or something. Didn't have much notes. It's important to come to the room with the notes. So anyway, good night, Amanda, and such. I can go see if you're on your fanny cam. See if Amanda's there. See what she's up to. You were kind of offline all day. Well, you were offline then online. Ah, look at that. Yes, you're busy. Yeah. You look like you're doing something important. Well, she probably is. She's probably multitasking. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You could wait. There you go. Funny. Anyway, so until the next time and such, so forth and whatnot. Figure out what window I'm in. Stop broadcast. Yeah, that's the one to hit, Gary. Okay. So any minute now, I'm going to stop this broadcast. And that'll be the end of it because I'm going to stop it. And it'll be over. You ready? Okay. Froze. Yeah, perfect. I love when I have to blow up the browser, crash the browser, then reload the browser, and get back out. There she waved. Okay. Now it's all good. Okay.